I'm Sherilyn Skolnicki, and this is Brilliant Balance, the show for working women who are ready to shine. Each week, I bring you ideas, inspiration, and insight on balance, business, and getting it all done gracefully. You ready? Let's be brilliant. This is episode 243, and today we are talking about vacation, as in how you can take a real one with a little bit of pre- and post-planning. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back. When this episode airs, we will be officially sitting at the first day of summer. So happy summer to you. I hope that among lots of fun time outside, in your yard, at the pool, at the lake, with your family, I hope you're also planning some real time off for a vacation this summer. I looked it up for the definition of vacation. I think some of us may have lost sight of this. Vacation is an extended period, right? Emphasis on extended. Extended period of leisure and recreation, especially one spent away from home or traveling. So let's really think about the most authentic expression of a vacation. You know, is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? What do you have planned as an extended period of leisure and recreation, spent away from your home, or, at least away from the rhythm and routines of your home? Staycations can be absolutely fabulous, but really in my book, there is nothing like a change of scenery, a change of venue to clear your head, get some inspiration, and let some new experiences filter in to your life that become memories that you have forever and ever. I have never regretted a vacation that we have taken as a family or as a couple, or ones that I've taken as an individual over the years. It's been a minute since I've done one by myself, but I never regretted the time that I've been able to spend on vacation, especially traveling. I love to travel. I know many of you love to travel, and I hope that you get a chance to do that this summer. So one thing about summer vacations, which will resonate with you, is that different than the holidays, with the holidays, everyone is off at the same time, right? There's sort of that 2-week period in which most people are taking some time off. And the beauty of that is it slows down the throughput of information, right? Your inbox doesn't get as full. There's just not as much happening. Meeting schedules are light. Maybe the office is closed altogether. But during the summer, when we're trying to take a vacation, we are on our own schedule. And you have that, that undulation throughout June and July and August when different people are out at different times in your workplace or among your clients. And that creates a challenge, because this dynamic means that you are sort of jumping off a moving train and then trying to jump back on while it has been moving the whole time. And too often that means that we're stressed out, right up until the second that we're at the airport or in the car. We're sort of tired and frazzled and cranky. And that is no way to start a vacation. And then spending time on vacation answering emails or taking that meeting that you just couldn't move, while the kids or your spouse are kind of rolling their eyes at you. So I have seen on vacations, women closing deals at the dinner table, searching for good Wi-Fi connection in a museum so they can get connected, or literally having an open laptop at the amusement park. And I personally have spent plenty of early mornings in hotel lobbies with my computer while my family slept. And I remember at least one instance in which I took a sales call from the dock while we were waiting to board a boat. Guys, this is not the best plan, right? So what I've learned through my own experience and mistakes and observation is that with some really good pre-game and post-game rituals for this vacation, the whole experience can be much more relaxed. So I want to share those with you in this episode. A few things that you can do before vacation, and hopefully we still have time for you in the weeks leading up to it. Some things you can do while you're out, and then a couple things to do upon re-entry. All again with the intention of helping you truly unplug so you can have your vacation be about leisure and recreation and not, catching up on projects. So let's start with, what do you do before you go? this is what I've learned, and this is the model that I've been talking to our clients about, is before you leave on vacation, when you see it on your calendar off in the horizon, think about blocking either one full day or a couple of half days before vacation. Just block them from meetings, right? No meetings can happen, so that it gives you a chance to wrap up some open-ended projects and communication, and then really decide where your cutoff point is going to be. So I like to take that. Typically, a couple of half days seems to work best for me in the days right before we're going to be leaving on vacation. No meetings, and that's the opportunity, again, to be intentionally wrapping things up. Now, in addition to that, if you can claim a couple extra hours of white space in the week or two leading up to vacation. So in other words, whatever your normal throughput is of how many hours a day you are in meetings or connecting with other people, just drop it down a notch. Instead of cramming more in, which is really our tendency, right? Our tendency is I'm going to load myself up because I'm going to be out. So it's like I'm going to punish myself for these couple of weeks. It's going to be brutal, but then I'm going to get time off. And I'm actually suggesting you go the other way, which is create a more gentle off-ramp. Okay, why? That mechanism is what's going to help you not start anything new. We really don't want to be starting new things in the week or two, maybe even 3 before vacation. Instead, this is a great time to practice the idea of a parking lot. So a parking lot is where you take ideas that are coming to you. Maybe it's coming from a client or coming from a project team at work where they want to start something, or you have the idea that you want to start, but you're not going to really have time to do this justice before your vacation. So you put it in a parking lot and it just can sort of hang out there until you come back and you're ready to kick off new work. It's really crazy making when we try to start new things with very, very short time horizons. Giving yourself a little bit more room before you kick off new things can be really helpful. So that's the idea of having just a sort of off-ramp in the weeks leading up to vacation. Another thing to think about is making lists, right? So really making sure from a work standpoint and a home standpoint that you have lists. And I think there's probably 2 dominant ones. One is the list of things that you want to wrap up before you leave, and that's the work list. And the other one is the things you want to have with you or that you need to have on vacation, and that's the home list. There could be some things that are really pragmatic of turning off the mail or getting somebody to watch the pets and water the plants. But I'm thinking specifically about, oh my gosh, my children outgrew their swimsuits and we don't have new ones and we need them. Or, I don't have this particular item that I want to have with me on vacation. It's going to require shopping or ordering or having it with me. So making those lists so that you are prepared to leave and you're not scrambling on the day of, and also so that you know what you're wrapping up at work. Another practice that will really help with the before you go time is thinking through the person who you want to serve as your go-to, sort of your filter, your second in command. And I want to tell you, this works for any level in the organization. Whether you are the CEO or president, or whether you do not typically have people reporting to you, finding someone who can be your deputy, your body double while you are on vacation can be really helpful. I used this really effectively. A couple years ago, we took our family to Europe before the pandemic. So it was 2019. And I put this system in place where somebody on my team was like the go-to person. So anything that happened within any person on my team or any of our clients ultimately funneled to her. And then she did like a daily briefing. Very simple. We used Slack to do it so that I could check in asynchronously, right? Well, whatever time zone I was in was not going to line up with hers very well. And I could just read that update and get the level of detail that we had agreed upon in advance. Okay. Then if we needed to connect live, I knew I had one person that I was going to have to be negotiating that with. Do you ever find yourself saying, I just need a minute to breathe? While the whole idea of meditation can sound totally intimidating, I've found that stepping away from the chaos of life, even just for a few minutes, is incredibly restorative. So if you're short on time, but could use a few moments of peace right about now, listen to my 5-minute meditation for working moms. It'll help you clear your head and come back to your day feeling centered and refreshed. Head over to brilliant-balance.com/breathe. Press play and settle in for a few mini moments of peace right now. So that notion of somebody sort of giving you a briefing, and it may not need to be daily, right? In whatever level of responsibility you have, it might be that you just need it once for the week. But explaining to that individual, and this is really a critical step, like which situations warrant them contacting you, right? And which ones you just want them to handle on their own. So in my case, like I really only wanted to be contacted with something that they would deem an emergency or that they didn't think they could handle. But if it's handled, I don't really need to know exactly what happened until I get back. Otherwise, what? I'm just going to think about it. It's going to take up headspace that I could be using for recreation and leisure. So learning that like they really can live without us for a period of time. Someone else will make the decisions in anything but true emergencies. And you can just rest assured that it's handled because you've assigned that person responsibility in advance. That is a game changer in terms of the before you go, is having somebody who you know, in your absence can consolidate and handle things. And it's amazing because often you can come back realizing I'm handling a lot more than I need to. The team actually ran pretty well without me. And so they can maybe continue to do some of those things without my sign off or me weighing in. Now, interestingly, I've learned to leave a lot of actual vacation planning, like restaurants and activities, until we're really en route to our destination. Because that's the mode I want to be in at that point. While we are on a plane or in the car, I want to be thinking about what we're headed toward. And so that's a time that I can really pretty efficiently get the rest of the game plan for vacation in place so I can stay focused on our life at home pretty much until we leave. A little bit of advanced planning, but some of those restaurants and activities I've learned I can really leave them until on our way or when we have already arrived. Okay, so those are the things about in advance, things you can do in advance, especially honing in on blocking some calendar time for wrapping things up, training yourself not to start anything new, and then having someone who can act as your body double, right, while you are out on vacation. Now, while you're out, during the time that you are out, I think there are probably two things that are really important here. The first is using some kind of out of office message like you mean it, right? My favorite would be something like, I'm going to be out. I'm actually going to delete any emails that come in between X date and Y date, the beginning and the end of vacation. So if your email requires a response from me personally, please resend it after that date. And then, in my absence, here's who you contact for urgent matters. That way, you're not even coming back to the email. You've told them in advance that whole slate of emails is going to get deleted. If you're not quite that brave, you could at a minimum set very clear expectations about when you will reply. I will be out of the office until this date. I have blocked time upon my return to review emails and reply. So please do not expect a response before this date. And again, who to contact for urgent matters. Very effective. It's very effective when we just set clear expectations and then we're not worrying that we're disappointing people and they are very clear on why we are not responding. Okay. So that out of office message can really be an important tool. The other thing to think about is what you will do. So we're all wired differently. For me, I do the best when I spend a little bit of time every day just staying on top of a few things. So it's like a soothing ritual to me to do a couple of things. I get that little productivity hit, and then I can really lean into leisure the rest of the day. So give yourself permission to establish a check-in schedule or an amount of time per day that you're going to do a level of work that makes you feel good. That can be 0, right? For some people, you will do best with 0. I don't want to look at this at all until I'm back. Some of you might do well, like I do, with 30 to 60 minutes a day, maybe early in the morning. Maybe it's when everyone's like getting ready for dinner and, you're all kind of taking turns in and out of the showers. And, there is some time there that you can reclaim for yourself, maybe with a great glass of wine. And you can try to synchronize this with the other people who are traveling with you so they know in advance what to expect. In my case, my family is very accommodating to that early morning time period if I'm going to go to the lobby or go out on the deck and handle a couple of things, and then I'm with them sort of uninterrupted for the rest of the day. But decide that in advance so that it doesn't creep into a longer period of time than you mean for it to. And I would also sort of asterisk this one and say, leave projects behind. It may be really tempting to bring a project with you and think like, oh, I'm going to do this writing or I'm going to finish this report, on the theory that you'll have time, but it's almost always a bad idea. Because if the vacation is going great, you're really not going to want to do it and it's going to sort of hang over your head. And then if you do the work, you might not accurately estimate how long it's going to take. So you're really missing out on the full effect of the vacation when you have something that's, high cognitive load taken with you. Little stuff like answering a few emails if you choose to, or checking in on that daily briefing, that's pretty simple to fold into the rhythm of a vacation week. But a big project is probably best left behind until you get back from vacation and can really plug back into work at a more intense level. Okay, then when you return, so when you come back from vacation and you have all the memories and the photographs and you're on the plane or in the car coming home, one thing I have learned is really effective for our family is to come home a day earlier than we're going back to work and handle home reentry. So I do not like to come in sort of on 2 wheels and end up right back at work. One day earlier gives me a chance to do laundry, get groceries in the house, or like an online order that I can pick up, deal with the mail that has come in, sort of all the things that are just that, re-entry can be so jarring, especially if you're dealing with time zones and jet lag. So one day where you're not at work and you can really manage getting everybody settled back in at home, very valuable. And then the first work day, I like to block some or all of it for sort of re-entry, getting myself level set, briefing meetings with people on my team. If I'm going to clear through email, going through the email, really getting myself into a solid plan without being drowning in meetings during that whole first day. And then by the next day, I'm pretty much ready to hit my rhythm. So re-entry looks like for us 1 day at home to get everything back in place. And then the first day at work being kind of a soft re-entry instead of I'm going to jam myself with 1,000 meetings. The only way to do that is to block your calendar so people don't jump on there. And if you can do that while you're blocking all the days before vacation, it can be very, very helpful. Okay. So those are my tips. When you think about the vacation time you have coming up, really think about, how do I want to show up for the people I'm traveling with? How do I want to show up for myself? What's the experience I really want to have? And think about packing that time with those experiences that are so hard to come by when we are in the rhythm of a work week and, the rhythm of our family demands. So it's such precious time that I want us to really figure out how to get into it without feeling like a mess, and then how to get back into work feeling the sense of rejuvenation and restoration that can really come from a great vacation. So I would love to hear from you about where you're traveling, how helpful these ideas were. I want to see vacation pictures, get them posted in the Brilliant Balance Facebook group. And I really want to see you participating fully in those experiences with your family. My vacation is coming up in July, and I know I am following these exact same practices to make sure that I can have that time away with my family be everything that it has the potential to be. All right, that is all for today, my friends. Again, come join us in Facebook at the group Brilliant Balance. Follow along on Instagram at brilliant_balance, or me personally at cskolnicki. And I really would love to see vacation pics and hear from you. That's all for today, my friends. Till next time, let's be brilliant.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.